Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Empty Hand. He made his first appearance in the Multiversity guidebook, issue number 1, that was released in March of 2015. He's arguably the second most powerful evil entity in all of the DC multiverses, being considered the metaphysical quote-unquote right hand of the Great Darkness, which itself could be considered like the one below all of Marvel, or aka just the devil. The Empty Hand has variable height and weight, along with having glowing blue eyes, jet black skin, and an elaborate horn-like headdress, also having the glowing Multiversity double chevron on his forehead. It goes without saying that all of his powers and abilities are completely off the charts, being considered more than equal to true Form Darkseid, and proving this astounding feat in one-on-one combat. The Empty Hand has multiversal cosmic awareness, darkness manipulation, reality warping, necromancy, teleportation, time manipulation, and he's naturally immortal, with his reality warping abilities being so profound that they seem to almost bleed into the real world and impact us, the reader. Now, as I stated earlier, we learned that the Empty Hand represents the right hand of the Great Darkness, which was used to shake hands with and form a truce between itself and the Presence, with them agreeing to coexist peacefully after the creation of the multiverse. However, over time, the Great Darkness continued to use his right hand to subtly manipulate corruption using beings throughout the multiverse. And eventually, this right hand would become its own creature named the Empty Hand, who would then embark on a campaign to destroy everything. This Empty Hand would then go on to create the extremely powerful beings known as the Gentry, whose sole purpose was to make the multiverse mirror the horror found within themselves. The Empty Hand would go on to create the little Chibi-like inhabitants of Earth-42, with the little heroes not even knowing that they were created as a test bed for Empty Hand's invasions of the other universes. His forces would eventually invade and destroy Earth-7, which was then used as a base to construct the Oblivion Machine, which we later learned was the planet itself, and that it was meant to end the never-ending tale of superheroes forever. But after the devastation caused by Empty Hand's quick visit to Earth-23, it would be apparent to the heroes of that universe that they needed a bigger plan, leading to them warning the heroes of 50 different universes and forming the multiversal Justice Incarnate team. Now, if we look to the Final Crisis storyline, we'd see that Darkseid tried to use the anti-life equation to draw the Great Darkness out of hiding, narcissistically attempting to take its massive power for himself, but instead died in the process. Yet, as the Great Darkness and the Empty Hand marched toward their ultimate goal of destruction of everything, they would realize that the only true obstacle to their goals was the multiverse's form of natural defense, which were the vast, powerful, and dedicated array of superheroes. The dark entities would then realize that there was one being that could tip the scales back in their favor, namely Darkseid, and it would be arranged for him to be resurrected. And although Darkseid expectedly had his own selfish plans, what he didn't realize is that he was just as much of an instrument of the Great Darkness as the Empty Hand was. Learning that just as the Empty Hand is the Great Darkness's right hand, Darkseid is actually its left, being the powerful fist that brings destruction, and making him a metaphysical form of brother for Empty Hand. And despite his resistance, Darkseid would eventually be stripped of his own personal will, and would be drawn back into a metaphysical form of body, along with other extremely powerful aspects of the Great Darkness, including Necron, Neuron, Ares, Doomsday, Eclipso, and the Upside Down Man. Not to mention that this massively powerful group was considered the quote-unquote Dark Army when you throw in Deathstroke and Pariah. So it's very clear that the machinations of Empty Hand would leave the heroes in the worst position they've been in to date. Now, for his powers and abilities and his influence on the DC universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Empty Hand a rating of 10, which is a legendary rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.